So, something that I want to talk about today is how we can have this unfounded guilt, essentially, that we're carrying around that actually blocks us from manifesting what we want. And oftentimes I find, and I see this, I've seen it in myself, I've seen it in clients, where we're actually carrying this around under the guise of self-love and self-acceptance. And of course, self-love and self-acceptance are very important. I would say pretty much all of manifestation, getting what you want, has to do with your self-concept. But where I see this going wrong is when we're trying to convince ourselves that we're okay with something that we're not okay with. So this is going to be short and sweet. I just want to give you an example really quickly that I think will help you connect the dots in your mind. So let's say you're an artist and you've been working on a painting, and maybe you weren't in the best headspace when you were working on the painting, or for whatever reason, you just don't really like it. And you keep thinking, oh, it's okay. Let me just add this color here. Let me add some shading here. We'll fix it up. And it's just getting more and more fucked up, and you just don't like it. Or let's say you've been making some improvements and you're like, yeah, it's getting better, but you just don't like it. And at the end of the day, what would really feel good would be to just paint the canvas white and start over, or just totally throw out that canvas and grab a brand new one and just start from scratch, start fresh. And you could spend years, if you wanted, trying to work on getting this one piece perfect, and just really not being honest with yourself about the fact that you just don't love it and you would like to start over. Now, there's no right or wrong way to do this, right? You're the artist. This is your masterpiece. You are free to create whatever you want. You're free to spend as long as you want. You are free to get really upset and throw things around the room and punch the canvas if you want. You're free to keep finessing things until there is something you like. And you are free to just start over at any point. You are not limited in any way. And I think it's so easy to look at it from that perspective, but for some reason, when we look at our own lives, it's more difficult. We have all these layers of guilt and shame and oh, I should, or whatever, right? And we can do this with our bodies. We can do this with our relationships. We do this with our work, with so many things, feeling stuck with something because we've put a lot of time into it, or because that's what we were, and I quote, I'm doing air quotes right now, born with, or, that's my family, but this is my partner, or this was my chosen path, or this was the body or the gender I was born into, whatever, fill in the blank. Or I've put so much effort into this, and you feel a sense of obligation, or you worry about what people will think of you, right? There's all these reasons that we hold ourselves back. And I just wanted to remind you today that you're totally free to let some of that go, or all of it go, whenever you want. And if you're having fun manipulating something, and I don't mean that in a conniving manipulative way, but playing with it, it's your work of art, and you're having fun shifting and changing and molding it, and you're having fun seeing ooh, I don't know how this is going to turn out. For whatever reason, I don't want to start totally over. Let me just keep trying it from this angle and a different angle and try this. And you're honestly having fun doing that, then do it. But just know that you're free to completely start over anytime you want. You don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't owe anyone anything. It doesn't make you any less of an artist, because that's really what we're here to do, to create, right? It doesn't make you a failure if you decide that you don't want to stick with something. And, you're always free to go back to something. Let's keep using the art example. Let's say you started a painting and then you didn't like it and you painted the canvas white and you tried something else. Then you're like, actually, I kind of like the original idea. You can go back and recreate that too. The point of this was just to remind you that you're infinite. It is you and you alone creating your life, and there are absolutely no limits.